Hey guys, welcome everyone to the second community spotlight of the Open Web Foundry. We're really happy to have everyone here. We have a really good lineup today. Also, guys, please remember that we're going to be opening up this session to the rest of the projects in the Foundry. So if you guys want to present something for 5 minutes and get feedback from the community, that's fine with us. Just send jesse@arweave.org an email, and we can set something up. But let's just get right into it. So first, we're going to have a Open Web Foundry alumni. So we're actually going to have DMarc, who presented at the last demo day for Open Web Foundry 4, and he's going to be presenting MyMail, which is a truly decentralized emailing service. So DMarc, you can go ahead and step on one of these tiles here, and then everybody can see you. Perfect.
Hi, we're all here, spotlighted.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, this is a little different than last time. Yeah, it's funny. GatherTown gets updated every time I return, but somehow it still feels sort of familiar.
They're working hard.
Yeah, we're back at it. So yeah, so let's talk about MyMail. Just to start off, we get the high level for MyMail. MyMail's mission is to accelerate the world's transition from centralized email to decentralized messaging. It allows us to imagine a future not dominated by big tech companies or the NSA, a world where we, the people, the core components of global society, get to say how our data is managed. So in order to make that happen, MyMail delivers a snappy and responsive email inbox, improves it by storing your data to Arweave, and then gives you the power to send personal messages in a new way, one that's end-to-end encrypted and designed to protect your privacy. So let's take a look. Share my screen. So this is MyMail. Now, that's the vision for MyMail. I wish I could show you the completed project and product and allow you to sign up right away, but it's still under active development. But what I can do is I can show you the proof of concept that we demoed at the end of the last OWF with a couple added features here. One is that we're working on RConnect support, and so we can use our RConnect wallet to sign in here. And here is the inbox experience. And so right off the bat, you notice it took a second or two to load. That's because it's doing a GraphQL query, and it's querying for your on-chain messages directly from Arweave. And so we believe that as a core principle of MyMail, that you should always have this, a perma-web deployed application that you can access your messages, your data permanently on Arweave. And so what we see here are these on-chain messages. And you can see once you've got these loaded up, it's pretty snappy and responsive experience. But my experience when I came to Arweave, I got really excited about on-chain messaging. I got excited about moving my data off centralized email services and moving it to Arweave. And when I looked around, I could see there was some Weavemail on-chain message applications deployed, but none of them supported email. And it got me thinking, could you do email? Like, could I actually move everything here and have it in one experience? So I got really excited about that. And so during the last OWF, that's what we built. So I've already set up an account with this email gateway. I connect to the email gateway, and then right away, you see my inbox populates, and we're looking at a unified view of on-chain messages here and emails stored at the gateway. And so one thing to notice right off is that these emails, as they come in, they expire. They're not stored forever. They don't automatically get saved to Arweave because that costs a very small amount of value. You have to pay a transaction fee to do that, but you get to choose. And these are full rich HTML formatted emails. You can see here I've got one from my buddy Justin sending me important information. So why don't we test this out? Why don't we give it a shot? So let's type in. This is an existing Google Workspaces email account that I have. One of the real challenges of setting this up was just to get an email delivered to like a Gmail inbox, you have to set up like 5 layers of security on your server. And then you have to like type kind of interesting messages. This one might get flagged as spam because it looks pretty spammy, but let's just send it and see what happens. So there we go, message sent. I'm going to kick over here and see if we can see it showing up. Let's see. Ah, here it is. Sorry, I panicked a little bit, but it did actually get delivered and it got in. So what we can do here is we can reply. This is maybe spam. And emails actually take a second or so to deliver. One thing to notice here is you can see the difference between these emails that are coming in and these actual on-chain identities, right? You can see this difference. So let's go in on one of these, refresh, and oh, here it's come in. Maybe this is spam. So that's it. That is email and on-chain messaging in a unified inbox.
Thanks, Dan. That was great. Yeah, such a simple idea that really needs to be decentralized. So I think everybody in the community is really happy that you're the one working on it, that we're getting this out. And then next, we're going to have Chris from DMarc. And this is going to be a bookmarking application where you can consolidate and curate all of your Web2 data into one place. So Chris, if you just want to step up onto one of the spotlight tiles here. Perfect.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction and thanks for the nice demo, DMarc. I'm gonna share my screen with some slides, which first should explain a little bit of our bigger vision and then show off the demo we started to build for OWF. And so what we want to do with DMarc is to solve personalized content discovery. Like imagine landing in a new city like Shanghai, where people not even use Google Maps to rate the local restaurants, right? And all the ratings are from random people. What you want instead are actually like ratings from your friends, right? People who are connected to you, which ratings you can trust. And the same for entertainment items, right? How cool would it be in Netflix if you could see what your Twitter followers like or your Facebook friends? And the question is sort of like, why don't these features exist right now? It's not really a technical problem, but it's more a business problem, right? Google, Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, they don't want to share their data because their business relies on siloing the data off. And it's really a pressing problem. Like as the whole personalized ads industry is on the verge of becoming even more centralized and walled off with the innovation of like cookieless ads. And what we want is a world in which technical progress doesn't get blocked by the monetary interests of these data monopolies, which is why we are building DMarc. And DMarc provides users with the content discovery and recommendations better than any single data silo could ever do. And this is how we do it. We use Arweave, which allows users to export their data from all kinds of different social or entertainment platforms and share it with developers in the second step, right? Who then, based on this data, provide predictions like movie recommendations, and in the third step, integrate that into the Netflix UI, for example. And to incentivize all stakeholders to share their data or respective their predictions or their code, we are building decentralized marketplace based on Arweave profit sharing. And this ultimately creates a self-reinforcing loop in which each of your likes and ratings directly improves the algorithms and enables you to access an ever-improving version of the web. And this is sort of our definition of the Web3. And how we start out, we built this bookmarking tool, which in our first iteration, it allows you to save, to bookmark any URL or tweet, for example, and allows you to upvote and tip users. And whenever you upvote one of the posts, then the originator, the curator gets one DMarc token right now, which is, again, like an incentive to curate more content. And additionally, you can follow people or lists of content, which then builds up our social graph. And with all this information, extension presents content recommendations directly on Twitter, which we find is an improved product experience really compared to the addiction to the endless scrolling on Twitter, right? You could have weekly top tweets or similar tweets. And this our team is Leon and me, Chris. We are building this proof of concept right now, and we plan to go to market in the crypto space by solving sort of the crypto onboarding education problem and getting more like a centralized database of good crypto knowledge. And after that, we aim to go into different related verticals like podcasts and series and movies, entertainment. And in the end, recommendations is a really huge market, right? From entertainment, online advertisement, and it's all technically the same problem space. So once we build this marketplace, we think we can really go into like online advertisement and revolutionize that space, sort of similar to Brave Ads. And yeah, we are seeking funding to build MyMail full-time, and we'd love to get your feedback.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I think we're all really looking forward to seeing where this is heading. You guys are still, kind of in the early stages there, but we're really excited to see how this will go throughout the rest of the Foundry. Okay, and then last up we have Jacob, and he's actually part of the R-Drive team, and they've spun off and created something called Charity, which is a decentralized autonomous charity. I think they call it perma philanthropy is the term that you guys are using. And basically, they're making use of the endowment structure to make sure that donations are generating revenue permanently. So Jacob, yeah, why don't you come up on one of these tiles and tell us more about Charity?
Thanks, Jesse. Really glad to be here today. I'll share my screen.
Perfect.
You guys see that?
Yep.
Great. As I've been around the Arweave ecosystem for the last year or so, I've really come to appreciate disruptive projects like the ones we've just heard about that have come out of all these Open Web Foundries. But this disruption doesn't end with a DApp. Today, I want to share how the permaweb also has the potential for a whole new way to do philanthropy. So I'm Jacob, and my co-founder Wayne and I, as Jesse said, are part of the R-Drive core team from Open Web Foundry #1. We're some of the rare non-developers around the Arweave ecosystem, and we've spent much of our working life working on social purpose businesses. We've also worked with numerous charities, either as volunteers or employees or serving on boards. We've been hands-on with microfinance, faith communities, food banks, camps for kids with disabilities, and we love it. And something we've noticed with nonprofits recently is a focus on recurring donations. In my neighborhood here in Canada, people used to come to my door and ask for 20 or 50 bucks. Now they ask for 20 bucks a month. Why are they pulling away from one-time gifts? Well, charities know they can easily get funding when their cause hits a news cycle, but donations fade out when the earthquake or the election is forgotten. And that makes it super hard for them to maintain steady work on their mission. So they've gotten into recurring donations, and that triggered something for us. A few months ago, Wayne and I started Charity, and the idea was to leverage PSTs to create perma philanthropy, gifts that literally keep on giving. And to do that, we're taking, as Jesse said, the idea of a DAO, and we're developing it into a DAC, a decentralized autonomous charity. And today it's really only the big philanthropists with big foundations who do long-term philanthropy. But the idea here is that you can donate once and support charities forever, and we're bringing down the walls so almost anyone can come and do what the big players are doing in that world. So how does it work? It's pretty simple. First, any PST holder, whether they're a founder or just a token holder in the general community, can donate to Charity's treasury. It's easy as sending a PST on our Connect. Step 2 is essentially hodling. As Charity holds the PSTs, they accrue tips in AR over time, and it is fun to watch this happen. And then once enough tips have come in to make it worth a recipient charity's time, the tips will be sent to the charity in AR, ideally, or ETH if they don't have an AR wallet. So the important thing here is that the PSTs are not for sale. They're never sold. So the PST endowment should really only stay the same or grow. It doesn't shrink, which means that as long as the PSTs are creating yield, The AR that accrues each month is a renewable resource, and that's how we get to perma-philanthropy. So we started a few months ago. What's in the treasury today? We are super grateful for early support from a number of OG communities at Arweave, our Drive, where we're connected, Verto, our Verify. They've made generous contributions that are already generating AR tips. And of course, all this is no secret. I should also mention we're a volunteer project. There's no cut for Wayne and I or any other early contributors. We don't have a fee for donors. We're doing this all on our own time, and we love it. Where does the accrued AR go? Well, our first recipient is Charity Water. You may have heard of them. They're a global charity that delivers clean water across the developing world. They have a global reach like Arweave, and they're a nonprofit we highly respect but have no personal connection to. They're also very crypto friendly. You may have seen them in the news for that. So we reached out to them. We have approval from their CFO to work together. And I'll just say this is the first one. My hope is that we'll add others as we grow, but we want to let the DAC decide what those should be and who we can support. So we've gotten started. What's next for us? I said we're planning to become a DAC, but like a lot of DAOs, we have a really long way to go. For example, Wayne and I currently have custody of the charity wallet. That isn't ideal, but we are in conversation with Aftermarket from Open Web Foundry 4 about their treasury management tool. We're going to be beta testing with them soon. Super excited about that, and it should help us take big steps towards decentralization. We also have a partnership with RConnect in the works, so people could round up a swap and give the change to charity. If you do that at the grocery store where you live, where they ask for an extra buck or two to round up the change. Or we may set up a way to give monthly PST or AR donations right from RConnect to charity. Also, we have a lot of questions to solve. What if, do we need a token, a PST token ourselves to make this work? What if that token takes on value? Would that be weird? And how do we protect this growing treasury from getting ripped off? So exploring these questions is part of the adventure. We don't have all the answers yet, but I'd be happy to connect with you after if you have some ideas on how to make that work. You know, it's a big world out there, and I'm convinced that many bright and shiny tech startups in 2021 will not exist in 100 years. Hopefully, most of the Web 2 behemoths won't exist either, even if they're called Meta. But I'm bullish on Arweave, and I think it has staying power. And I hope we early adopters are remembered not just for building the perma web or PSTs or atomic NFTs or bundles, but for how we built a different kind of tech ecosystem and how we remembered our global neighbors. So I'm basically here to encourage you as founders to build philanthropy into your communities. And it seriously does not need to be charity. There's some beautiful expressions of giving back elsewhere in Arweave. I'm thinking of Pianity's Birdsong Project and their support for endangered species. But if charity is interesting to you, we're looking for conversation partners, as I mentioned, to help us figure out the DAC. We're looking for PST donors to give to the treasury, and we may need a developer or two, because that's not our expertise, to help us fulfill our mission. So you can chat with Wayne or I at the end of this session, or reach out to us on Discord or email on the links there. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Jacob. I really like this idea of having a permanent charity, because I know that it just makes more sense for charities to have a continuous income stream so they can actually plan for the future. And you guys are actually tackling this problem. So very cool. Yeah, so we're actually going to open up the floor now to like a mingle session. So if anyone has any questions for any of the founders, I encourage you to go chat and collaborate, provide feedback, engage with the community. So thank you, everyone. We're going to go down into the floor now. Thanks, guys.